burlap pumpkin set that I'm going to do. And in this kit, you receive a 12-inch 10-yard roll of real burlap. Depending on what kit you pick, it's either going to be a turquoise, a orange, or a brown. You also get a 5/8 inch by 20-yard roll of wheat-colored faux burlap ribbon. You get one of these cute tin pumpkin signs, and depending what kit you pick, it depends on which pumpkin sign you get. You also get 2 cable mounts for the pumpkin sign, 2 pipe cleaners to attach your sign, a bag of zip ties, and a Unique in the Creek ring board. This is going to be a really simple project. You will need a glue gun, and if you happen to have super glue, that's even better. Super glue, E6000, DAP, whatever you have to attach your cable mounts is perfect. But I'm going to use hot glue and a little bit of super glue as well. So what you're going to want to do, there is 2 cable mounts. We're going to take the backing paper off the cable mount, and I want the plastic to be right on the metal, because sometimes this foam releases from the mount, and then your sign will fall off. So if you kind of peel back some of the foam from the plastic, and then just glue the plastic right to the sign, it works wonderfully. Now you don't have to peel it all back, because it's a little bit tricky. Especially these ones, they're very, very sticky. This is really, really sticky. Sometimes if you use a tweezer or some needle nose pliers, it helps a little bit. Ah, it really is sticky. Okay, I'm just getting the corners back. There we go. Okay, so my corners are exposed of just the plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hot glue in the center, and then I am going to use some of this super glue on the corners. So the hot glue will hold this in place right instantly, and then the super glue will hold it in place permanently. Now, it is easier, I should have did this first, it is easier to put your pipe cleaner through the hole going through, because then you have something to hold on to. And we'll put our, right there. Okay, so press down, get a good hold on it. I think I'll just put something heavy on it. What's heavy that I can put on it just to hold it? That's not heavy. Okay, I think we're good. And we're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to put the pipe cleaner. There is little slots for the pipe cleaner to go through. And like I said, it is easier to hold and peel off. So again, I'm just going to peel the corners back. If you can get the whole thing off, perfect. If not, don't worry about it, because we just really want the corners for the super glue. Okay. Put some hot glue in the center. Now the hot glue will stick. It depends where you live. So you'll have to use your own discretion. If you live in someplace really, really hot, the hot glue may melt a little, and that will make the sign come off. And then I'm just going to kind of go over to the other side. And there we go. So our sign is ready to go. It's going to fit on there just perfectly. I'll shut my hot glue gun off. We're done with that. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side and let it dry a little bit more while we create our wreath base to go. So you get 100 pack of zip ties. These are the 6.3 inch zip ties I use all the time. And I'm going to open my roll of burlap. Again, this is a 12-inch roll of burlap. This is real burlap. So you may want to just throw your COVID mask on. The fibers sometimes irritate people's lungs, depending on how sensitive you are. But the fibers will not go through the paper masks that we are all wearing for COVID. Now this tape. Why do they put so much tape on this? There we go. Holy moly. All right. Oh, still one more piece. Okay, we're all ready to go. So what we're going to do first is we are going to take our ring board, and on the ring board there is a number 1 and a number 2. I don't know if you can see that, but right at the top there's 2 holes that are divided in. There's the 1 and there's the 2. We are going to be using row 1 from this hole to the outside of the board, and we're going to preload these open. What we're going to do is just make a big base, poof base with really pretty burlap. There's something gorgeous to say about a natural pretty burlap, especially in the fall, right? Because it's jute fibers. So and you want to make sure that the flat part of your zip tie is facing up towards the ceiling, so when you go to close it, the tail of your zip tie and the head are matching up so it will close properly. So there's 16 of these. So you won't use this whole pack of zip ties. We will be only using 32 of them. Well, 33 if you count the hanging hole, but you do have ribbon if you would like to make a hanging, using the ribbon for your hanger. Okay, so we're going to take our roll of burlap and grab the end and I just grab it in the middle, bring the top, bring the bottom, just have a scrunch there. Start wherever you want. Actually, I'm going to just start on the side here. And I'm going to just put the zip tie around just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to measure my poofs at 10 inches. I'm going to use my Measure Buddy. You can cut a piece of cardboard at 10 inches. If you have a cutting mat, you can use your cutting mat. So put your zip tie that you just secured on the 20. Pull your burlap out until the 10, and you're going to poof that in. And we're going to make it makes a really, really nice poof like that. So that's the way to do it on the cutting mat. So again, you would take this zip tie, again, put it on the 20, pull it out to the 10, and then bring it in. With the Measure Buddy, if you have a Measure Buddy, pull your Measure Buddy out till 10 inches. Put it just underneath the burlap, pull the burlap out to 10 inches, and bring it in and zip tie around it. You can also cut a piece of cardboard or something to that effect at 10 inches and use that as well. I'm going to use the Measure Buddy. It's just so much easier. And all we're going to do is keep going around at 10 inches and making these big old nice poofs. Okay, now you don't have to open them. We'll open them at the end. I just opened a couple at the beginning so you could see. Okay, and we're going to go around and we're going to cut off these tails after we're finished, so you will not see them. Now the Measure Buddy can be purchased on uniqueinthecreek.com. So if you want to use one of these, you can purchase it $12.99 and it measures from 8 inches all the way up to 20 inches, so we use it for all kinds of projects. So you can grab one when you grab your kit. So you can see how big this wreath, oh, excuse me. You can see how big this wreath is going to be already. And it's actually a very simple wreath, but because we're using real burlap, it just really gives it that rustic fall look. Now you can throw this down on the floor and just keep pulling your burlap, kind of like if you're using yarn or something, so it stays out of the way. But again, you're just, wherever you're pinching is where you're putting your zip tie. So we have every poof is exactly the same size, which, because the burlap actually is, I think, is the star of the show, even though the pumpkin sign is really super cute. The burlap really makes the wreath. Almost finished row 1, and we're going to do the same on row 2, except row 2, it doesn't use as much burlap. We are still going to do 10-inch poofs, but it's got a smaller circumference, so we do end up using almost the whole roll of burlap. So you have a little bit left, which is good, just in case, you know, you went a little over and made your loops, your poofs, like maybe 11 inches by accident. Okay, so we're back where we started. We do want a poof here, so what I'm going to do is just cut this tail off. Now I'm using really dull scissors. If you don't have wire nippers, get yourself, or find the dullest scissors you have to use to cut your zip tie tails. You don't want to use your ribbon scissors, okay, because that'll dull them. And make one more poof, and then we're going right over top of that zip tie that we just did, and we're finishing. Now I'm just going to cut this off as close as I can. Oh yeah, these are the dull scissors. Let's find the sharper scissors. Here we go. That's better. And this is why I use these sometimes for my tails. Okay, and you're going to go around and cut your zip ties off. again with your dull scissors, or if you have little wire nippers or a zip tie gun. And we're just gonna throw these pieces in the garbage. Although they are recycled, you can recycle this plastic. So if you want to just throw it in your recycling bin, you can also do that as well. So we just went to a, since I finish this, I'll measure what size base we have already. It looks to be probably about 20 to 22 inches, I think. All right, so yeah, we got about 20, well, it'll probably be about 20, yeah, about 22 inches. Okay, so when we're finished row 2, we're going to go around and open up all these poofs. But first, before we open them all up, we're going to push them back so we can access row 1. And we are going to do the exact same thing as we did in row 2, except for this time on row 2, or row 1, row 2, you're going to go down this hole and back up and leave it open. So we call these loading the board open. And a lot of times this is done for doing ruffles and poofs. Okay, so we're just going to load this up. So down and up, and the flat part of the zip tie head is facing towards the inside, so when I go to close it, they will, the zip tie will work. If you do it the opposite way, you'll struggle, look down, because you'll probably notice that your zip tie is in wrong. That's most time when a zip tie doesn't work, is it's just backwards. Okay, we're almost done. Preloading. There we go, last one. All right, we're done. So we're gonna do exactly what we did for the row 1. Take the end of your burlap, scrunch it in the middle, and just gather it up at the end. I didn't cut very well, so I'm just gonna clean this edge up. Not that you see it, but okay. Pick a spot. I'm not going to use the same spot as where I started on row 1. I'm just going to pick a spot here. Okay, and we're going to close around it. Alrighty, and then again, we're going to start with our 10-inch poofs. Now this is the zip ties, and the holes are closer together with row 2 because they are, the circumference, like I mentioned, is a little smaller than row 1. So you could very well use 8-inch poofs, 9-inch poofs, or you can keep them at 10. It depends how fluffy you want your wreath. I'm going to keep it at 10, just so you can see what it looks like. And if you think it's too poofy in the picture, you can bring it down to 9 or 8 inches. So you can see that the poofs are much closer together than the outside ones. So this is a great way to make a burlap wreath. Lots of people still love the burlap and the rustic look of the burlap. And if you don't grab, or if you're not able to get a kit, if they're sold out or whatever, we do carry at the time of this video, we do carry the burlap individually in stock. So obviously you can see it's a beautiful base. And when I flip it over, it's even better because it's so nice and neat on the back. I've made a lot of burlap wreaths in my days with a wire frame, and they too are really pretty, but they use a lot more burlap because look the prettiest. So this base is actually almost looking like a pumpkin as well. Almost at the end, so I did use almost the whole roll. Now if you make your poof smaller, because you can see how big this is, if you make your poof smaller, you will have a little bit of burlap left over. Okay, now we're back at the base of where I started it, and again I'm going to cut this zip tie tail off, and I'm going to go over top with another zip tie so I can make a poof there so there is not a big gap. And we're almost done our wreath, everybody. The base is the main thing of this wreath. It's all about that base. About that base. Yeah, I know. Corny, Laura. All right. I'm going to cut. Let's cut our... That's all the burlap we have left. Perfect. I don't mind throwing this amount away. Okay, so now you're going to go around again and just cut your tails off. You're just going down to the base of the zip tie and clipping the tails. Make sure you get them all. They like to hide. Okay, we have a big old base. That is the back, so we still have it nice and neat. And now what you're going to do, I have to zoom my screen up a little bit. Is now we're going to start, let's start on the outside, just opening these up a little bit. Go around and you don't have to open them wide up, just a little gather like that. Grab, get the edge and just kind of pull it so it makes a really nice poof on the outside. All right, we're back where we started. Now we'll do the inside. Exactly the same, kind of grabbing the factory finished edge. And then just opening it up like that. Isn't this a beautiful base? Very easy to do, and it's still nice and neat. Alrighty, look at that. Look at this base. It is gorgeous. That is full. You could leave it just like this, add a bow, and you're done. This is just spectacular. Nice and big and full. But we have this cute pumpkin. We're just going to add it right to the center. We're going to make, now this is optional. We're going to make a little bow and put it near the stem here. You can also use this ribbon to use for hanging your wreath. So what you're going to do is we put our pipe cleaners. Let's find the top of our wreath, which is, where's our top? Right here. So there's 2 blank holes here. That's the top. So I'm just going to put it up at the top here. And now I don't want to squish my pumpkin down. I'm just going to take the 2 pipe cleaners and find the 2 holes on row 2, right here and right here. Put them through, and I'm just doing a little twist right here just to keep it in place till I put the other side in. And we're going to go directly across. So I put it right here. I am going to be putting the other 2 pipe cleaners right there. Okay. Now it's hard for you to see what I'm doing, but I'm just literally going down. I can see the holes. And I can feel the pipe cleaner on the back. And I'm just giving it a little twist. So, there we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want to tighten it just a bit, but I don't want to squish my burlap, so I'm just going to pull it up till I can feel a little bit of tension, and you'll be able to tell when it gets a little bit tight, and that's when I'm going to twist the pipe cleaner. Again, I'm going to do the exact same. I feel a little tightness. And it does look about the same length of a pipe cleaner, and give it a twist. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So simple and so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, but we're not done yet. We're going to, I do like the placement of my pumpkin. It is perfect. I do not have my burlap squished. I can even pull some of them. We don't want too much. We want the pumpkin to be seen, but you can pull some of your ruffles or your poofs from behind just to kind of frame your pumpkin. Okay, and then we have this really beautiful burlap ribbon, and there's 20 yards on it, so you have plenty of ribbon. And I think I'm just going to make a simple, cute little bow and glue it. Actually, I told you to turn your glue gun off. Maybe turn it back on. A simple little bow. I'm going to put on my pumpkin. Now you don't have to do this part. It's totally optional. First I'm going to do is I'm going to use this ribbon as a hanger. So I'm going to just twist the end of it, pull it up. Now you can make your ribbon, your hanging ribbon, as long as you want, as short as you want. If you don't want it being shown, then you would cut it short. I'm just going to do right about there. So let's see. Oh, and that's about, it's about a 24 inch piece. All right, and then I'm not doing anything fancy. You guys can fancy yours up. I'm just going to do a knot right at the top, just like that. And then I'm going to just side cut the ends there. Okay, so our hanger is done. And we're going to make a matching bow. So I'm going to try and use, make a cheater bow in case you don't have a bow maker. So I'm going to cut a tail about, let's see, about 20 inches. I want it hanging down my pumpkin. Okay, so this is going to be our tail. This is 20 inches long. Okay, then I'm going to take this ribbon and I am going to, let's see, let's make it about 10 inches. So get a 10-inch piece. So put it on the 10, bring it to the 20, and fold it over. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it over again. I'm going to fold it over again. I'm going to keep folding over. I'm going to make a loopy bow. Now, obviously, if you have a bow maker, you can do this on the bow maker, and it's a lot easier, but this way works as well. Now, if my bow ends up being too long, then obviously you would go down to 8 inches. But right now, I'm making 10-inch loops. I don't even know how many I did here so far, but I want it kind of loopy. Okay, I think right there is good. So I'm going to cut this off. Okay, make sure these are all still piled on top of each other, and you're going to take a zip tie, go underneath. We could have probably put the zip tie on first. And you're going to do it up. Now, don't do it up tight. Do it up until it hits the ribbon, just like that, because we may have to move it. What I want to do is fold this in half to make sure both sides are the same, the loops are the same length, and the zip tie will be right in the middle of that, okay? Once you got it right in the middle, bring the head of the zip tie to the back and pull tight. Cut this off. Now this is non-wired ribbon, so it's going to look just loose and flowy, which is what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to cut another piece of ribbon about 10 inches. I'm going to take my tail that I made, put my loopy bow on top, go around, and I'm just going to tie it on the back. So it's covering the zip tie, and it's also joining your tail to your bow. Alrighty, let's cut that off. Now you can make a hanging bow exactly like this. So this would be the top of your bow, and this would be your hanger. Now I'm going to separate these. Probably should have made it a little smaller. So if you're watching this and you get your kit, do 8" and not 10. That way your loops are 4" loops, but it's going to look cute on my pumpkin. I'm just going to kind of put it off to the side here, or this side, and get a little bit of glue, put a bit of glue on the back of my bow here, and carefully just place it. I'm just going to place it just like this, kind of angled. And open up. We're going to move these loops around. Super, super cute. I'm just going to side cut these. You can dovetail them if you want. And there we go. A really, really super cute fall wreath. Yeah, I think my loops are a little too big, but there you go. Super cute fall wreath, burlap rustic fall wreath kit. I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see yours. Now, if you want, you can also, to keep your pumpkin in place, you can also take a little bit of glue and go underneath the sign, pump a little bit of glue, and then hold it. Now, you don't need to do this at a whole bunch of places because it is pipe cleanered on. Oh, I forgot to show you to do with the pipe cleaners in the back. Okay, so I just put a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here. You can put a little here, and it's glued at least to the burlap. Flip this over, and let's get rid of these nasties. We're going to take this pipe cleaner, go back down the hole, cut it a bit, go back down the other hole, so we have nothing on the back that's going to scratch our customer's door or our own door. There we go. Oh, we might want to take this off, especially if you're selling your wreaths. We don't want any cheesy tags on. Alrighty, now we're done. Beautiful. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, everybody.